It's first pitch. I'm the Prez. Tony Finn with us. What a run you're on in baseball, and we'll talk about it in a few minutes. Lots to say. Second show of our new program called First Pitch. We take apart every baseball game on the board that starts after 6 p.m. Eastern. We had a lot of viewers yesterday. Thanks so much, guys. Also, make sure to comment. Ask us questions if you want, and we will get to it. No promos for today. Tony doesn't need a promo. If you aren't playing Tony's baseball, you're an idiot. Tell us how the season has started for you.
Well, it started pretty well. I mean, other than the Tuesday loss, we were 8-0, 12-1. Right now, 9-1 run, 13-2 to start the season.
Outstanding, brother. And I'm doing really well in baseball myself.
8-3 run for you right now.
Yep. Really feeling it. I talk about it all the time. I mean, I just love betting baseball. I can't stand the sport. I don't actually consider baseball a sport. I consider it a game. But there's nothing wrong with it being a game. People find that insulting. Like, you're insulting baseball because you're calling it a game. Really? Chess is a game. I'll beat any of you in chess. Bowling is a game. I like to bowl. Billiards is a game. I like to play billiards. Poker is a game, and poker is my passion in life. So I am not insulting baseball. It's just not a sport.
Of the big three, Lawrence, basketball, baseball, football, baseball has the biggest mix of really good athletes to guys who probably can't run around the block.
So, firstly, it's the big four because hockey is the best of all of them. And secondly, how do you define what is a sport? Well, I don't know the official definition, but let's put it this way. If you can order a pizza and eat it while in the game, standing in right field, it's likely not a sport. If you can smoke a cigarette while actually playing, it's likely not a sport.
Lynn Dawson will argue. If you remember back to Super Bowl IV, he's sitting on the bench. They're playing the Vikings. They're AFC underdogs, and he's on the bench. Lynn Dawson, who's still doing broadcasting in Kansas City metro area, smoking a cigarette, 1970. There it is. Yeah. Lynn Dawson, smoking on the bench. It's Hall of Fame. Lynn Dawson, Super Bowl IV, MVP, Hall of Fame, 87. Otis Taylor, touchdown.
Okay, but Tony, what he didn't do was smoke when he wasn't on the bench.
No, we don't know.
Guy Lafleur smoked cigarettes on the bench for the Montreal Canadiens. He didn't smoke them while playing forward.
Lynn Dawson was a notorious gambler. That game, that Super Bowl IV, they took that off the board because there was rumors that he was gambling heavily on the game. And then they were one of the biggest underdogs in Super Bowl history and won outright by double digits.
Yeah, well, I'm sure I could find out if he was or wasn't gambling on that game. But anyway, let's move on, brother. Toronto Blue Jays. Just light years better than Boston. I mean, 4-8 to start the season. Boston 3-9. These teams don't compare. Yeah. Blue Jays manhandled Boston yesterday, 7-5. But I mean, let's be honest here. The Jays absolutely stink. Boston is minus anywhere from 182 to 200. The over and under is 9.5. Sanchez is on the mound here, and I think that does bode well. ERA of 1.64, 1-1 on the season. And Eovaldi has just been a disaster so far. 1.8 whip, 8.10 ERA. He's a better pitcher than that, but I cannot take minus 180 with a pitcher who really has shown nothing this year.
No, a couple three things that I really like about this game. First off, Sanchez, you're getting some good numbers on Sanchez because of his last year. He was 0-2 with like a 4.75 ERA against Boston. However, a lot of that was bad luck. If you look at his Sierra and his FIP, they're better than that. Eovaldi, he's a guy that reaches triple digits, and he needs a couple warm-ups. That was disastrous a disastrous road trip for the Red Sox when they went west. And he really didn't pitch as badly. He had some command issues, resulted in some walks. The whip goes up. Listen, Lance Barnett is behind the plate today, and I like this game to go under the total. I play it under 9.5. The weather's perfect for pitchers in Boston. Not too much of a wind. 55 degrees first pitch. And if there's a team out there that on a nightly basis that you can bet might get no hit, it's Toronto.
Yeah, and you know, not only that, but you look at Fenway Park, a home run park for right-handed hitters. Toronto couldn't hit a home run. They don't even have a home run hitter on their team. They couldn't take advantage of a little league park. So yeah, I'm with you there, brother. I think Toronto. It's funny because I want to play the under in Toronto for like 162 games.
Yeah.
I worry about their bullpen. I worry about their starters. That's why you literally can't do it. But I'm with you there, brother. I like the under in the Blue Jay game too. New York Mets 7-4 against Atlanta 7-4. I really like this Atlanta team, Tony. I think they're going to make noise all year. New York Mets just beat Minnesota 9-6. Atlanta's won their last 3 games, brother. They beat Colorado twice, Miami once. We have Atlanta at -130 and the over-under here at 9. I actually look for a lot of the Atlanta games to go over all year. I think they've got a really, really strong lineup batting-wise, and I don't think their pitchers equal it. They're not bad. They don't have a bad pitching staff, but they don't have a world-class pitching staff. So I can see them averaging roughly 4 runs a game letting in. I think 9 is the right type of number, but I'm going to be betting overs in most Atlanta games start to finish.
Well, especially in SunTrust. It's a hitter-friendly park. The ball travels much different than it traveled at Turner Field before they built SunTrust. So, and to your point here, Matz is better than his record last year. He struggled a little last time out with some walks and command. But Atlanta's lineup, as you mentioned, they slashed. They were like the 4th best slash against lefties last year. 780 OPS. Gosman is coming off an injury. He's probably the 2nd best pitcher. They got some young guys freed, but I wouldn't argue with that here. I think as well as Atlanta can run, hit, and their pitching is pedestrian at this point in time until they get completely healthy, and over 9 here makes sense.
He's Tony Finn. I'm the Prez. Listen, guys, lots on tap on Thursday. You're watching First Pitch. Puck Time's already in the bag, taped and up. Enjoy it. Carmine, Alex, and myself, we take apart every NHL game. We also have Morning Joe in the Pro today with Marco and Teddy, and that's the NBA playoff preview show. So there will likely not be a Morning Joe tomorrow. We're just going to let that sort of simmer until Saturday. And most importantly, Tony, the Game of Thrones preview show is going to be recorded and put up tonight. And laugh all you want, but there is some heavy betting coming in on Game of Thrones. There are lines up on everything, and I've got a special guest coming on. Not Jon Snow, not Daenerys,
one of the
but
dragons.
Maybe somebody from the cast.
One of the dragons, maybe.
Yeah, maybe one of the dragons. But yeah, make sure to watch that as well. Brother, let's talk Pittsburgh against the Cubs. Rough start for the Cubs, 3-8 to start the season. Pittsburgh 6-4, which is slightly better than where I think they will end at the end of the year, because I think they will end around the 500 mark. But obviously, we know the Cubs are not going to be 3-8 every 11 games. Minus 133 for the home Cubbies. The over and under here is 9. There are a few 8.5s out there. And you got Quintana on the mound. 10.29 ERA. Oigavalt, Musgrove, lights out. Lights out. 9 innings pitched, 0 ERA. Those pitchers are actually opposite to those records.
Yes.
So don't be fooled. I think the Cubbies are the play here.
Yeah, it's cold in Chicago. It's cold. Yes, about 35 first pitch, wind blowing in, pretty tough. But Hugh Darvish is miserable. In fact, I've played against him once. Should have played against him 3 times.
He's finished. Koken and I spoke about him yesterday, and
he was a big play for me in second start in Atlanta, and he actually got fortunate, but still lost. In this game, both these pitchers, Musgrave's not as good as what he's pitched. Quintana's not as bad as his pitch. This division, as you mentioned, the NL Central, this is a division that's going to be – Milwaukee's probably the best team as far as top to bottom, pitching staff to bullpen, lineup 1 through 9. But this is a division that is going to be beat up on each other all year, and the team that wins 90 games probably wins this division at this point in time. So you have to pick and choose your spots. In this one here, I have really no opinion other than the fact that Quintana these are both pedestrian pitchers in a park that whoever drops the ball in the outfield today with the wind the way it is and cold wins. You can flip a coin on this one as far as I'm concerned.
San Diego 8-5. That's unbelievable for them. But look, they've got the best prospects in baseball. They're super young. There's no reason to think that they can't make a move. It's not the world's strongest division. They get to play San Francisco a lot, who are probably worse than they are. And tonight they're playing Arizona, 6-6 on the season. Arizona is a very short -120. The over and under is 8.5 or 9, depending on where you're betting. And you have Zach Godley on the mound, a 6.56 ERA in 2 starts, 11 innings pitched, and Avila, who hasn't adjusted his ball sack yet this season.
No, this is his big boy debut tonight, Avila. So, and this is a guy who pitched in Single A last year, was 7-9 with a 4.25 ERA, right in there. However, and that was 24 appearances, 20 starts. He did strike out 142 and 130, and don't sleep on Single A ball on the West Coast. It's pretty good ball.
I'm not going to sleep on it. I'm just going to sleep through it.
Godley was considered a disappointment last year compared to his 2017 numbers, but if you look at his underlying peripherals, he was better than that. He had some bad luck. What caused his whip and his ERA decline were one more walk per 9 innings than he did in 2017. But if you review all the umpires and all the situations that he had, his 2-2 counts, what he did, 1-1 counts, if you go really into deep metrics, he's the same pitcher he was. And in this game, I really like Avila. I like Avila the first 2 times in the lineup. It's his big boy debut. They don't have much film on him. And you're going to get a pretty good number here, 9. I like the under in this game, especially with the roof being open. Don't buy into this stuff where Chase Field, when the roof is open, it's that much more of a hitter-friendly. It's not.
He's Tony Finn. I'm the Prez. It's a first pitch. You catch us Monday to Friday at our YouTube channel, WagerTalk TV, as well as at WagerTalk and SportsMemo.com. Colorado, San Francisco. We just spoke about San Francisco a few minutes ago. 4-9 to start the season. The Rockies 3-9 to start the year. I think Colorado is a much better team than 3-9. San Francisco is probably only slightly better. This is a bad, very old baseball team. Yes. We have San Fran at -105, plus 100, give or take. Over and under is 7. We're going to see this all year, Tony. San Fran numbers are going to be in the 7s and 8s all year round. They just have no ability to score runs. Colorado is the opposite. They can put up runs, but they're struggling to pitch. My gut feel right off the bat is actually on the over in this game, but this is a straight out pass.
It is, and Colorado is as good as they can be offensively. They haven't been very good offensively, and they're not pitching very well. And both of these pitchers, Gray's been a disappointment, and Samardzija, listen, he's been across the board, he's been a lot worse. Or he's been a lot. How do you word this? He's been a lot more bad than he's been good over the last couple of years. He's nothing. He's not. He's a shadow of what he was when he was with the Cubs and before that. And I would be playing over 7, despite the fact it's AT&T Park in San Fran. It's cold this time of year. The other night they had a game that I personally didn't release it, but I played it over, and it was over in the 3rd inning.
He's Tony Finn. I'm the Prez, and that's First Pitch. Make sure to watch Morning Joe and the Pro. It's our NBA preview show with Marco and Teddy. Make sure to watch Puck Time with Carmen Alex, and make sure to watch my Game of Thrones preview show. If you guys don't think Tony knows what the hell he's talking about after listening to these 18 minutes, the joke is on you. Plus, he's 13-2 to start the season. Brother, thanks so much for joining us. I got 3 NHL plays tonight. Yeah. I'm going 3-0, baby. I'll speak to you later.
Thanks for having me. Good luck tonight.